Hi, welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt. And this thing's fast and hot. This is the BMW M8, but not only that, it's the competition. And not only that, it's also the Grand Coupe, which means it's the pinnacle of BMW's flagship 8 Series. And expectations, they're high for this one. And they should be high. This thing is approaching $150,000, so it means it's at the top of the upper echelon of cars that come from Munich, which means the most performance, the most luxury, and the most excitement. So let's see if all that's true. We'll start with performance and excitement. Under the skin, this M8 competition is packing the S63 4.4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 from BMW's M division. We recently drove this engine in the M5 competition, and here it makes 617 horsepower and 535 pound-feet of torque. And what it results in is something that does 0 to 60 in under 3.5 seconds. In a massive, super luxury coupe that was turned into a sedan. But we've been all over the engine and the transmission and even the driveline from the M5. We know that it's wildly powerful and insanely quick, but this is the luxury, the big GT car that's got a big M badge on it. So is it more sports car or is it more GT car? It's challenging to say definitively because the 8 Series is inherently a big super coupe, which means it leans GT. However, the sharpness and performance you get here from this competition makes it feel more sports car. And when you think of GT cars, you typically think of things like Lexus LCs, Bentley Continentals, cars oozing with luxury that have big, powerful engines, but other than that, don't really have any sort of sporting inclinations. And that's not what's going on here. You've got the S63 big, powerful V8. You've got the sharpest tuning of the ZF 8-speed, and you get 3 speeds of shift ferocity. You've got BMW's special X-Drive system that will uncouple the front wheels for skids and slides. You've got MLSDs, you've got grippy tires, and you've got carbon fiber everywhere. And so what you end up with behind the wheel is something that stiffens and sharpens to a crazy degree. The steering and the sharpness that you get on the front end is so precise. The body and the chassis composition you get under braking and cornering is so disciplined with these adaptive dampers. And then the power calibration and the gearbox tuning brings so much drama that you consistently want to push it harder and harder and harder because it seems like you're constantly chasing the limit of the car and it just keeps getting higher and higher. It's a wildly impressive sporting experience when you're on it. But that's the thing about the Bentley and the LC. They don't inspire that desire to push it through a corner. So what's the M8 like when you want to soften back and eat up miles of highway? In a word, good. It doesn't have the same softness or isolation a more conventional GT car would give you, but of course that's due to the fact that you're getting more performance than a conventional GT car. However, that being said, it's not like the ride is bad or the cabin is noisy. It's still supple enough, you've got a great driver assistance suite, and you've got good visibility. You've got great luxuries, and it's easy to drive. But then, honestly, after a while, you find yourself burying your foot just so you can hear that S63 again. So it can do the GT stuff, but it wants to do the sporty stuff. So with that, let's step outside and talk about some of the more finer details. Now, whether you call it a GT car, or a sports car, or a coupe, or a sedan, or whatever you want to call it, it really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, what this thing is very good behind the wheel. And then standing from the exterior, doesn't look too bad either. The whole car is designed to look low, long, and sleek. The Grand Coupe with its 2 additional doors gets another 8 centimeters from the 2-door 8 Series, which is good because it means you can actually sit in the back. But back up front, let's talk about the look. The front fascia is so aggressive and elegant. I'll venture to say it's the best looking car that BMW makes currently. The grille is sharp and proportionate to the long hood. It's a comp, so all the accents are blacked out. You've got a much more aggressive lower fascia with big vents for cooling the big S63 V8. You've got a cool front splitter. Along the side, you can see how long this car is, and it looks very low and aerodynamic. You've got 20-inch competition wheels, which are excellent. You've got big competition brakes. They're not the ceramics, but to be honest, that's how I would have mine anyway. And of course, they're wrapped in a nice aggressive set of Pirelli P0 rubber. And then you get this non-functional accent grille behind the wheels that looks pretty cool. You get M wing mirrors, and then miles and miles of sculpted bodywork before you get to the rear 3/4. This is my favorite angle of the car. It looks so sleek and modern and expensive. You've got this excellent jagged lip spoiler. You've got these gorgeous minimal taillights, and then your lower fascia has this aggressive aero cut in it. And then your big rear diffuser enshrouds your classic Quad M exhausts. So just like behind the wheel, how it doesn't matter if you call it a GT car or a sports car, it's just good. It's the same thing with the exterior. It doesn't matter if you call it a coupe, a Grand Coupe, a sedan, a Ford, it doesn't matter because it looks the business. Now let's step inside. And then on the interior here, I remain impressed because I harp on BMW a lot for having kind of like the same interior design to all of their cars. And to hear you have something different. And it's got this sense of quality and uniqueness and this idea and this feeling that your money has really gone somewhere for you and you have something unique and something special. But there are some things that don't change, like the exceptional build quality and materials. You have exquisite leathers in here that wrap around your dash, and of course your seats. And your seats are heated and cooled and they light up. You've got your M steering wheel, which feels great and is heated and has the autonomous status lights for your traffic jam assist, etc. It's also got the M1 and M2 customizable driver profile buttons right there. You've got your head-up display, which is huge and vivid. You've got the fully digital cluster, which looks great and is totally customizable. And you've got a nice big infotainment screen. It is running iDrive 7, so technically it's the older system, but for me it's not an issue at all. It's still fast, the graphics are vivid, and it has all of the features that I would want. Things like wireless Apple CarPlay, gesture controls, 360 and augmented reality cameras, and a drive recorder. And you get really cool luxuries like a Bowers & Wilkins sound system with lights on the insides of the speakers that will come on and come off as the music comes in and out. You've got lighting in your door cards that flashes red when you open the door to warn other drivers. One seeming omission is that you don't have a panoramic roof on here, but this is, after all, the M8 competition, so it gets a carbon fiber roof. Back inside and in the rear seats, though, you actually have enough space for grown adults, which is not something you can say about the two-door version of this car. In the rear seats, you also get amenities like heated seats, climate controls, and vents and chargers. However, you do have an extension of the center console that results in a pretty unusable middle seat, and yet they still give you a middle seat seatbelt. From there, the trunk space is actually pretty good. The opening isn't huge, but it's deep, so it's fairly usable. So with this M8, I think I'm impressed with not just the luxuries that you get here, but the unique flavor that you get as opposed to some of the other cars in BMW's lineup. And then the added practicality of having the Grand Coupe and usable rear seats, it really kind of puts it over the top for me. So I think that's probably a good time to get into final thoughts. So the BMW M8 Competition Grand Coupe, a car whose mission is shrouded in mystery. However, when you actually get in and start exploring one, the need to put a label on the car quickly fades away. It's just good. The driving dynamics, the power, the sound, the looks, the interior, it's all impressive. And it's fitting of a almost $150,000 car from Munich. So, thanks to our friends at International BMW for letting us have a go with this special car.